Welcome back to another edition of Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast. Bill, festive?
I mean, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas.
You beat me to it. You didn't share your wardrobe secrets with me prior to. I feel out of place over here.
You know, it's one of those feelings you just have when you leave the house in the morning that, hey, this needs to go.
You were in a Christmas/Ted Lasso mood.
That's right.
I love it. I love it.
That's right. Allie tells me there's a new season coming out, so we got to get prepped for it.
So I've heard, got to do some research. I truthfully need to finish up the last one. I've been slacking a little bit, but I kind of know how it ends. But then, kind of got to guess what's going to happen, I guess, moving forward.
Yeah. Well, look, I think tonight may be one of those. Pull the Christmas edition Ted Lasso out and just watch the giving spirit of Ted.
Yeah. be something to do on a nice evening with the family.
There you go. I don't know about with the family sometimes. Some of those you may need to proof before you throw the kids in the room.
It's a little bit of that show. There's some really good lessons in it that actually you can instill in your kids, I feel like. But then there's also some of those adult moments.
There are. So I would say watch it before you bring the kids in.
Fair. So we wanted to hop on here today. We've been talking in some previous episodes about, planning, why 2026 a great time to start an agency, things like that. And one of the things that I thought we could address is how independent agencies can compete for talent in the marketplace moving forward. It's something that I tell everybody all the time. One of the things I feel like we do a really great job of is helping our members not only compete for market share and opportunities, but compete for talent in the marketplace as well. And so we wanted to sort of touch on that because, again, great things going on in our industry right now. And I think one of them is the ability to compete for talent in the marketplace to help continue to grow your business.
And I think this is a good time to be talking about it right here at Christmas time, December. You're probably not hiring a ton of people right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like is a tough time for somebody to leave or disrupt. Now, you may be talking to people to start with you the first of the year. So now's that planning part that we've talked about of how do you get going and hit the ground running for January. And a lot of that has to do with getting talent.
Listen, one of the questions I ask when talking to prospective members, what are your 3 biggest challenges right now? If you could wave the magic wand, what are 3 things that I could help fix tomorrow or problems I could help solve? And every independent agency owner mentions hiring, mentions talent, mentions employees, right? And it has been that way for the last 2 to 3 years, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd say the marketplace has shifted. I'm sure you've seen that. We're getting that feedback from our members, and I think it's a great topic to break down.
And I do think everything is still new, maybe and unfamiliar for some people because COVID completely changed the world.
It did.
And not just the business world, but it changed the world. So then we start breaking it down to how did it change behaviors and hiring and what people want in their work in life, and everything just could be different. So those people that are starting fresh may not have to worry about what they used to do.
Right.
The people that have been in business for 50 or 100 years, like, I don't say a lot of insurance agencies, but quite a few insurance agencies, their mindset needs to shift because it is different today, and it's been different. We're just now maybe throwing it in their face a little bit going, hey, look, let's talk about this.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's one of those things, the beauty of the independent channel, and we talk about it all the time, is flexibility, options, things like that. It's geared primarily toward the consumer, but same can be said for the employment, employer-employee relationship, right? You're in a great position as an independent agency to offer flexibility, to offer some autonomy, right? To offer, a different approach or platform to help these people matriculate and grow their careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to your point, the chance to build the right culture within your organization has never been greater.
What's one of the things that you would say?
The culture, flexibility, and just your general hiring approach. Right.
Okay.
I feel like, to your point, there's a lot of organizations that have been around for a while, and they like to think about how they've always done things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, COVID has changed what the new talent pool, the new market expects from an employer, and you're in a great position to build out a platform for your employees that allows them that work-life balance.
I think that's where an agency owner needs to sit down and think through. And as they interview people and they talk to people, they don't need to be so set in their ways.
Right.
Maybe they don't know what their way is yet.
Yeah.
You know, or if they do, maybe try to channel it and keep it within and try to listen to what the candidate's saying to you, or the candidates if you're interviewing multiple people, because a lot of businesses want people to come back to the office.
Mm-hmm.
It's no secret. Now, a lot of businesses aren't able to get people back. And I think it hits your point of that work-life balance, the complete shift that we've seen because of COVID in some areas not as much.
Mm-hmm.
I think people got to be creative and listen to see what that person wants, because it is in the back of that candidate's mind right this second.
Oh, it is. It is. And I mean, I know that I've heard from people that they've had candidates completely shut down the interview process because they're not hearing what they want right away. And I think that's where part of this is building a reputation as an organization to, you know, brand yourself as that forward-thinking organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you mentioned listen to the candidates. Well, for those that have employees already, engage with your current staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, see what your current staff's wanting, right? You know, see what your current staff prioritizes and is looking for in their employment, right? You know, it's an opportunity to build a brand and then to, in some ways, share that, right? I mean, we've talked about technology and you know, digital marketing and the LinkedIns of the world, things like that. That's an opportunity for you to build your brand as an organization to attract that talent. You know, I think the other thing, and we did a podcast recently, and it was geared toward captive agents and why it's a great time to start an independent. But I feel like for the existing independent that's looking to make that hire right now, you know, one, sell your market access, sell the flexibility, sell the options, the market opening up right now to help, you know, especially from a producer perspective, right? To help attract the right candidates.
So your relationships. I mean,
we talk about being intentional.
We talk about relationships all the time as well. And I do think that is a part, again, especially when you're talking about that producer, you know, and I think you kind of alluded to that. If you're talking about the producer, talk about the relationships with the carriers, talk about the carriers and what they're doing and the successes you're having, and talk about the vision that you see having with that person so they can envision themselves inside your agency with the same relationships.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a great point. You know, it's one of those things, we've said it, I've said it on other podcasts, people are looking for careers, not jobs. You know, those relationships, that access, those, you know, those options provide upward mobility. You tack in there on the producer side of things in particular, you know, you're going to have access, especially as a partner with our organization. We've talked about it before, the 5 layers of compensation, the increased income, those types of things. You know, it allows you to be more intentional, flexible with your compensation model, you know, and show, you know, an opportunity to generate more income, not only for yourself, but for your staff.
Well, I think that's a good point, is build a compensation model that works for both parties.
Yes.
And again, I think this is something, like I said before, is maybe for the first interview, you don't have to completely say it.
Right.
You may want to get some information on what they're looking for and how they view your agency and going forward, and put together a comp plan that can work for both of you.
Yes.
You know, this isn't something that we talked about. This isn't pre-COVID. This isn't from 1950.
Right.
This is what's going to happen in 2026, and utilize the resources that you have and the comp models that somebody like SI North Carolina gets for you. How do we reward this person? How does this person make a better living with my agency than a competing agency?
Well, and I think that's something you have to be aware of, right? You know, we talk about disruption, and I think where most everybody's mind goes when it comes to disruption in the employee-employer world is the remote work. Right.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But the other side to this is that disruption, whether through M&A or whatever it might be, it's changed the comp models in the industry, right? You know, it's changed how people have been paid, are expected to get paid, you know, what they expect their wage to be, those types of things. And so having that access in general, just to that extra income. Those higher levels can help you be more flexible there, can help you compete with larger organizations for talent.
Right. And paint the picture for them.
Yes.
And make sure you know it, because I'm not going to say the candidates lie to you, but a lot of times they embellish.
Inflate.
Yeah. They inflate what they say they want or what they're currently making. And so while
It's a negotiation.
yeah, while I'm not saying you got to go run and do that, I think what you have to do is, okay, that's a good number. Let me show you how you get to that number.
Right.
Let me show you how we do this together, and paint them that picture that is very achievable for them. If they do the work that you need, their eyes can open up, because then if they do embellish, they're like, okay, well, that number wasn't real,
But
now I can see how I get to that number that I said I wanted. So let's move forward here.
Let's move forward. That's where the independent agency is in such a great position, because they are flexible in how they can do things. It's not a rigid corporate approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
The true independent agency owner has the flexibility to craft a customized agreement for the right people that, like you said, can help you achieve your goals as the owner and help that employee achieve their goals in the future as well. And I think you hit the nail on the head in something that a lot of employers lose sight of. How do we help people have better lives?
Yeah.
Right. And
that's right.
That's our focus when we're partnering with agencies, and we want that to trickle down for our agencies to be focused on that with their employees, things like that.
Well, and I think that goes back to that work-life balance that we talk about too. So it doesn't matter if it's a internal team member, was account manager, a CSR, or a producer. It's something you got to look at going, where's that work-life balance and how does it work for both parties? Because there is a way that they can get something and you get something too.
Yeah.
Now they need to work hard while they're working, but that doesn't mean they don't get a little bit of time to do something else to make it make sense. Whether it's they need time off, they need volunteer time, they need to flex a little bit to help with a kid care.
Yeah.
Or maybe elderly parent care. It could be a lot of different things, but you got to get to know what the person wants to be able to compete with them, because it might not be money.
Right. And I think we're seeing more and more of that in today's day and age, right? I mean, you mentioned the people that have been doing it 50 to 100 years. I mean, I think that's the general theme of this is, hey, the market's changed. You know, what the modern employee wants isn't what somebody wanted 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30, right? And so you are in a position to, as you look into 2026, as you look to the future, no different than, being intentional in how you handle, client acquisition. Be intentional in building the right platform, sell the benefits that you have as an independent agency, and work with that employee
Absolutely
to build the right plan for them.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to how you manage. Let them know how you manage and what your expectations are up front. I do think that's a key, is communication up front.
Yeah.
What's the culture like? What's your management style like? What do they like? Where are you going to get along and not? The bigger you get, the more you can invest in maybe some personality profile things, which I highly recommend, but not everybody can afford that. But that doesn't mean a lot of those profiles tell you what you already know when you just talk to somebody. Yeah. So it really goes back to have a good conversation and get the feeling of who they are as a person and what makes them tick. And I think likewise, you need to be open and honest with them, because if you're a micromanager over and over and over and they don't want anything to do with that, that's not a good fit.
Yeah, let's find that out up front.
Yeah. And so it may be one of those that you got to realize that, hey, you need to stop micromanaging today's employee. Or it may be, hey, I need to find somebody that loves being micromanaged.
Right. Yeah.
So I think those are things that we've got to all be honest with each other.
Yes.
To figure out how we fit in with everything.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it on multiple episodes going back to when we started this. I think it's being intentional.
Yeah.
Right. As easy as that is to say, I think it's being intentional with your communication, your interactions, your conversations, and your plan. Right. I mean, I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Intentional and communication.
Yep.
Relationships. It still goes back to relationships as well.
It's simple and easy. Well, I think we've covered this one pretty good, right? I mean,
Yeah, man.
again, we've said that we think 2026 is the best time to start an independent agency. And, this one I think is, the theme would be, hey, I feel like 2026, especially if you're an agency looking to invest and hire and staff, this is the best time to be doing it, right? We've got so much to offer as an industry as a whole, and it's really opening up the avenues to find the right people and really grow our industry.
Yep. I could not agree with you more.
Well, Ted, great seeing you.
Thanks for coming. Hopefully we do get a 2026 version of Ted Lasso.
Yeah. We'll have to we'll break down some of those episodes, right? In the future.
That's right. Let's have fun doing it.
All right, everybody. Have a great Christmas.
All right. See ya. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch our Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, or send us over a topic recommendation at podcast@siaofnc.com. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, visit us online at www.siaofnc.com. We hope you enjoyed our newest episode. See you next week.